Oh, it's very high tech. Hi. I can't see anyone up here. Hi. So that's me. I'm a Postgres developer. I've spent the last year or so putting the finishing touches on logical application in Postgres 10. And people have been asking me the last couple of days, are you going to speak about logical application? Which I was not planning to, but I'm giving the people what they want. So I just want to explain why it took us about 20 years to get this done. So in 1999, somebody sent an email to the Postgres mailing list, like, how about transaction logging? Is that something we should do? And that started an interesting thread about like how should we do this? Should it be binary? Should it be statement-based? What about all the trade-offs? What do you do with user-defined functions if you do it on a statement-based level, and so on and so on. So all of these kind of issues that we've been working out over the last 20 years were already discussed back then. So in 2000, actually, Postgres already had built-in replication. It was contrib rserv, if some of you remember that. So that was a very early sort of statement trigger-based system. In 2001, in Postgres 7.1, the write-ahead log was added, so we didn't even have that before then. In 2004, Slow-knee came out, and that's something that's been used for a long time. And contrib rserv was removed because Slow-knee kind of took its place. In 2005, Postgres 8.0 was sort of a big step with point-to-time recovery, where we took the write-ahead log and made it sort of usable externally. You could save it somewhere and then do, for backup. And then people thought, like, well, if I can store it somewhere and I can recover from it, I can do that also at the same time. And so in Postgres 8.3, PG Standby was shipped, and that was a big sort of milestone for a lot of people, where you could really set up a easy standby with built-in tools in Postgres. And so 8.3 has lived a long time because of that. 2010, Postgres 9 was a big step, obviously, when Postgres really had built-in replication because of these two features that came kind of together at the same time. And then it kind of, went from there, right? In 2011, next release, synchronous replication, okay. So then 2012, cascading replication. Then people thought, yeah, let's tackle the issue of logical application now. The Postgres BDR project was started as a sort of a fork, and then all the features that were built in BDR were kind of fed back into Postgres over the years. So that's starting with event triggers, background workers. That is something that came out of that partially. 9.4, logical decoding replication slots that we now know came out of that. And that's the logical decoding is kind of what Jim was talking about earlier too. And in 2015, we sort of bundled that parts of BDR into a plugin called PG Logical that we wanted to submit into core Postgres. And replication origins and commits timestamp for conflict tracking were implemented. And then we wanted to get PG Logical into Postgres core, but that was rejected for the 9.6 era. So we sort of went back to the drawing board and took that code and mangled it. And so in Postgres 10, finally, we could put it into the shape that the community could accept. But PG Logical also continues to exist, and additional sort of forward-looking features are being put into that, and we'll eventually want to trickle them back into core Postgres. So that's where we are now. Going forward, for next year, we're planning BDR 3, some cleanups on sort of integration of logical and physical application, which doesn't work so well right now, and integration with partitioning and all the other new features that were implemented in Postgres 10. And so the end of the road that we kind of hope for this whole undertaking in 2 releases from now, possibly, that will take the experiences from BDR and merge all of that back into Postgres 12, perhaps, and then in 2019, we'll hopefully have multi-master logical application in core. So sorry it took a while, but you can see kind of all of that went into that, and so we'll hope we get to the end of the road soon. So please test and contribute, and thank you for your attention.